And now, the East Westchester Corporation, maker of fashionable plastic fruits and vegetables for all your home decorating needs, brings you the continuing saga of a poor body repair shop heiress on an endless search for love and togetherness on The Gathering Dusk. As we look in on the Fillmore household today, Martha, the beautiful daughter with a slight talent for jingle writing, is going over the details of her wedding reception with John, her fiancé of 10 longing years.
Oh, John, my darling, is it really necessary to go over these reception plans again? Didn't we just do this 7 years into our 10-year-long engagement?
We did, my dearest, but of course things have changed in that time. For example, take the runner you will walk down the aisle on. I had ordered the genuine imitation velvet red high-grade model, but it is no longer in stock. I would fear going with a standard low-grade one.
Oh, what difference does it make, precious John? I will just be walking on it.
And that is the point, my dear. You do remember that I worship the very ground you walk on. I was hoping to save that runner as a keepsake.
Well, I appreciate your devotion, dear John. But wouldn't it be more cost-effective if we went with a less expensive runner and you simply worship me as opposed to the ground I walk on?
Well, yes, when you put it that way, it does seem to make economical sense.
Well, see, we are making progress.
Oh, another item we will need to contend with, which I fear will not be solved so easily, is our evening's entertainment. I am afraid we will have to hire another band for our reception.
But I like the Sonny Bono impersonator we saw at the Blue Scarlet Lounge.
As did I, my sweet. But unfortunately, he is no longer in the music business. He has taken up architecture, and he is now appearing all over town as a Frank Lloyd Wright impersonator.
Oh, that is a shame, my precious sweetheart. But what about the food? We can still go with the egg salad we saw at the caterer's for the main course, can't we?
Well, not that particular egg salad we saw, of course. It has probably been all eaten up by now. And, of course, any that would be left would be quite putrid by now, I would assume.
Oh, that's true, my dearest, but the caterers will make more, I'm sure, unless they lost the recipe.
I will have to call them to make sure. Well, one thing we will need to discuss is the speech Uncle Theodore wants to make. Originally, we're planning to yield the floor to him following the bridal dance, but now I believe it might be best to do so after the cutting of the wedding cake. Do you have any thoughts on the subject, my pet?
Well, I don't suppose it matters all that much to me when he gives his speech, but rather, why? I mean, what is motivating your Uncle Theodore into thinking he needs to give a speech at all?
My Uncle Theodore? I thought he was your Uncle Theodore.
I don't know what would make you think that, dashing John.
Well, I thought he was your Uncle Theodore because I knew he wasn't my Uncle Theodore.
But John, darling, I clearly remember meeting him at your family's annual reunion.
Oh, that wasn't my family's annual reunion, my beloved. That was your family's annual reunion.
Oh, but that can't be, sweet John, as my family doesn't celebrate annual family reunions.
But neither does mine, my lovely Martha.
Then I wonder whose family reunion that was.
I'm afraid I don't know. Uncle Theodore's most likely.
Now, don't get me wrong, my dearest John. He is a nice man, but I have to wonder what he could possibly have to say to us that would be meaningful, since he isn't related to either of us.
But it does seem to mean a lot to him to speak at our wedding. And as you pointed out, he is a nice fellow. I'm sure whatever he says will be appropriate.
But of course, my preciously mediocre John. All of this planning means nothing unless the wedding actually takes place. Perhaps we should set a date.
Oh, I agree, my beloved darling. As I look at my calendar, it appears as though I have next May 23rd available.
Oh, that simply won't work for me, my adoring John. I have a hair appointment that day. I could cancel it, of course, but I couldn't marry you without having my hair done first.
Yes, that does sound reasonable.
How about June 10th? I've always liked June 10th.
Oh, that's out of the question, I'm afraid. I won't be available. That is the day the 7th game of the Lawn Darts World Series. That is, of course, providing my lawn darts team makes it to the World Series, and that the World Series actually goes to 7 games. But it's not wise to risk it.
Well, what about October 28th?
Yes, I'm available on October 28th.
Oh, this is so exciting, John. After 10 longing years, we will finally be married. Husband and wife. Me walking on the ground and you worshipping me.
Yes, it's almost too good to be true. Oh, wait a minute. I fear it is too good to be true.
What is it, John? What's the problem?
Well, that date will not work, my beloved. I just remembered. That is the day that Uncle Theodore will be taking his walking tour of Akron, Ohio. I am so sorry.
Oh, John, how terribly disappointing. So close, and yet so far.